what are you doing in my kitchen? I ran out of angry things there because I was trying to be, humorous, being ironic with the happy camper shirt. I think if I came in angry, people would be like, whoa, but it says happy and he's angry. Like, what? What is this crazy juxtaposition of emotions? And then I realized that I'm not an angry person, so I don't really know how to act like an angry person. So it died real quick. But so is life. I think that's a situation where not knowing how to be angry isn't a negative thing, because that implies that I'm not angry a lot, which I think is a win. Anyway, how's your week been? I'm pausing to hopefully you were able to say your whole week in that brief period of time. Because I'm just gonna start talking about myself, because I'm a narcissistic person, hence having a YouTube channel and spending hours a week editing a video of myself. We all have our flaws. But my week, was arguably good. However, I went to the grocery store. I was like, I'm gonna make meatloaf for you guys this week. And not just any meatloaf, bacon wrapped meatloaf. So, it's some good stuff. And ground beef, always on sale, which arguably, if something's always on sale, is it really on sale? I'm looking at you both. But so then I was like, well, I'm not gonna buy it not on sale, because I ain't a chump. So I kind of looked down and I saw that the chicken was on sale this week. So I'm like, I can work with that. And so we're gonna be making oven baked chicken. Spoiler alert. But then that presented me a new problem of I now have 4.5 pounds of chicken that I wasn't planning on using for this week. So I had to kind of do a quick pivot, think of some new recipes. And I'm actually gonna try and make like Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets. So that should be good, because they now sell Chick-fil-A sauce as just like a condiment in that aisle. And I was like, well, I haven't had that in a long time, and I haven't had Chick-fil-A in a long time, so maybe I can make my own. I don't really remember what it tastes like. As long as it's good, I'd be like, nailed it. So that's my weekly update of my problems, which aren't really problems. Anyway, I think I've roughly hit all my intro points of what we're making, which is the oven baked chicken, and then a ramble, which is pretty thematic for me. I tend to ramble. So we can now move on after we've hit those criteria to let's talk about the ingredients. In terms of ingredients, it's pretty straightforward, and it's mostly spices. Eat an easy grocery run coming up at you. Obviously, chicken, brown sugar, salt, pepper, garlic powder, paprika, thyme, oregano, and rice. It's not obviously part of the actual recipe, but I'm making rice as a side, so I figured I'd include it. All right, so now that we know the ingredients, next up is read the recipe and then make a game plan. The game plan for this recipe is, well, obviously, I'm making the rice, so I need to do that first because that's probably gonna take the longest. And then after that, I need to turn on the oven because it needs to get up to 425, so that's probably gonna take a minute. Then it's effectively you're making a dry rub for the chicken, so I'm gonna make the dry rub by blending all the spices and whatnot together. Then I'm gonna prep the chicken by cutting it in half, and then apply the dry rub to the chicken. You gotta do it to both sides, so you're gonna have to flip the chicken at some point. And then hopefully oven has heated by that point, so then put it in the oven, bake, and then enjoy. It's a pretty kind of streamlined process. I probably should make a vegetable. I probably won't do it on here, but I have some broccoli I'll probably steam. It's nothing exciting, but Gotta get your vegetables in. Be healthy. Gotta take care of that body. We know how to make rice, so I'm not going to show you that. I'll probably, do a quick like dump thing. But because people have tried to call me out on it before, I have bought rice that I rinse, and that's like a normal thing. But the rice that I keep buying because it's on sale and it says gluten-free on it, and I have a strong opinion of giving money to things that say gluten-free on them, is it literally right here. I'm gonna try and show it to the camera in a second. It says, to retain vitamins, do not rinse. So that's why I'm not rinsing and draining the rice beforehand, because it tells me not to. So now let's see if we can show that up on here. See those words right there? You can pause it and go back. I'm not gonna hold it up there forever. But I know what I'm doing with making rice most of the time. I do mess it up sometimes, but that's just because I can't be bothered to measure accurately. We cool? I think just one person who's called me out. I know I've internally called myself out. The vitamins though. Now I don't need to take a daily vitamin because I'm eating rice. Fun fact, a lot of cereals are essentially your daily vitamin. So if you eat cereal, you don't really need a daily vitamin. I'm not a medical doctor, so don't, believe anything I say. I'll take the rice. That splashed a lot. Done. All right, now that the rice is going, let's turn on the oven. And as always, if you have stuff in your oven, because it's free storage space, make sure you take it out. Now that we have the oven on, the rice is cooking, next is to make the dry rub, essentially. So let's hop into that. Now that we have the dry rub done, next is prepping the chicken, and that's essentially just cutting it in half. All right, now we have to combine the two. So we have the chicken cut in half and the dry rub. So now we want to apply the dry rub to the chicken. I like to do a maneuver of have a dry rub hand and a chicken hand, essentially, because you need to move the chicken around, and then the dry rub hand is essentially my clean hand is how it kind of boils down, because if I need to touch anything in my kitchen, this hand has not touched the chicken, whereas this hand has been touching chicken, because salmonella is a thing, and when you're handling chicken, you don't really want to go around touching things, and so that's just kind of like how I approach it. Granted, you can like wash your hands between, but this is like the lazy man's way of being efficient, I guess, is the way to look at it. The chicken is all seasoned, the oven is heated, and so now we're just ready to put the chicken in and bake for 18 minutes. It's just finished baking. Here's what it looks like. I'm trying not to spill the liquid everywhere, but it smells great. So I'm gonna put it on a plate with the rice, and I'm steaming some broccoli, and then it'll be dinner time. All right, here's the final product. It a little bit looks like salmon, but I promise you, it's chicken. So I decided that I'm going to start like ranking, or not ranking, scoring the food that I make, which maybe in the future it'll be a little bit more scientific, because right now it's essentially just going to be me thinking of a number and then telling you that number and then kind of giving you rationale of how I defend it. But it's not really like, you know, categories where I'm scoring and then those average up into like the overall score. Because I don't have any of that. I didn't think that far ahead. But so for this one, in my very unscientific, extremely biased way, I'd give like a 3 out of 5. It's super easy to make, so that, you know, elevates it, gives it some good points there. But it doesn't reheat as well. So like I like meal prep stuff. And this doesn't, you know, during the week when I'm like making this, like reheating it for lunch, it's not nearly the same level as it being cooked fresh. So that kind of takes away some points from it. And then, but I mean, overall, this is like my go-to chicken dish. Case in point, this video. If I'm at the store and I need to make a chicken dish, this is what I'll like go to, because I already know that I have the seasonings on hand. I know I have rice, so pretty much all I need is the chicken. So it's really easy to shop for. And I'd still highly recommend, I mean, I have recommended this recipe to a handful of people that I know. I know I've sent them this recipe to like make this. But yeah, so I'd recommend that you give it a try. And I'm gonna go eat dinner before it gets cold, because that's how my mom raised me. And on that note, bye mom, still not dead. See ya. I need to make the rice first. You know, throw that all together. There is a bug flying around in my apartment. Ooh, did I get it? No. Hopefully you can't see it, but I can see it, and it's distracting. One of these, I'm probably gonna kill it at some point, and it's gonna be great. This is probably going in a bonus clip somewhere.